Advanced transcription number 39, speed 100 words per minute. Start. I think, sir, that apart from a national health policy, which I would welcome, of course, there are so many other factors on which the whole question of population control depends. My point is that I would have expected Honorable President to give the highest priority to this problem, which has now reached a dimension where everybody, whether in the government or in the opposition, should be distressed and worried about as to the future of our country, development in our country, and how we are going to cater to the needs of these millions of people whose numbers are growing all the time is a question which I think baffles everybody at the moment. We are sometimes getting rounded by saying that we do not want to go deep into this problem because of the emotions or the kind of sentiments which are aroused by it. Sir, I humbly say that this is no way of dealing with this problem now. Otherwise, in a few years from now, our country will be facing an insoluble crisis because of this growth of population. I would therefore like the government, if it has any further idea on the subject apart from talking of stabilization of population, to take the House into confidence and tell us something more about how they propose in this national health program which they are considering to deal with this problem, which has really reached gigantic proportion. The second apprehension I have got, sir, is regarding the role of the government in the Kargil war. How our Jawans, our officers, and our armed forces gave their lives, shed their blood in order to defend our soil, and how they have written a glory of fate in human heroism is all known to everybody. So everybody naturally has paid tributes to them. There is no question about it. This is something of which everybody in this country is proud of. But I must raise one point, and that is, how are these young men of our armed forces exposed to this danger to their lives and their safety? When the government took a stand that they had not been aware, they had no knowledge, they were not conscious of the fact that there had been a large-scale incursion into our territory by armed people from Pakistan, who included not only the regular Pakistani army but also so-called Mujahideens, who were mercenaries recruited from different countries and who were put up in front of the regular Pakistani army in order to show that they were fighting some kind of liberation war. There were two options, if I may say so, before the government. If the government is speaking the truth when it says it had no knowledge, at least for several days they had no knowledge of the fact that there had been this incursion by several thousand people across our border in the Kargil area, if that is one option, that really they had no knowledge, no information. If that is a fact, then it can be established. Then, of course, our intelligence agencies, of whom we have got many, not only one, but we have many, will be held to be culpable. We have raw, we have got the military intelligence, we have got the IB, and we have got so many intelligence agencies. They will be held to account if it is a fact that for several days the government really had no information, no knowledge of the fact that this incursion had taken place, where those people were supposed to have entered up to a distance of about 12 to 15 kilometers inside the line of control on our side of the border, and no information was available to the government. Then what were our intelligent agencies doing? Naturally, every citizen in this country has got this question in mind. Subsequently, so many newspapers, so many magazines, and so many other documents have raised this question because everybody wanted to know what was the truth. On the other side, that is the other option, if it is established that they did not know, it is not as if they did not know, at least they had been forewarned that such an incursion by Pakistan was going to take place, and therefore it was all the more necessary to be more vigilant and to guard our border in the Kargil area in such a way that it is not possible to be taken by surprise. If such indication or information was forthcoming from those intelligent agencies, then what was the government doing? In these options, either the intelligent agencies have failed, which gives the credit to the government, the balance of the credit goes to the government that they did not know, they were kept in the dark, and on the other hand, if it is established that many of these intelligence agencies had sent warnings to the government and those warnings had been ignored, then what is the character of the government and what is the nature of the government's role in this whole affair? This view might be behind the mind of the Honorable Minister to decide that this year the fares and freight rates should not be raised. But all the same, we will be interested to know his point of view. We do hope that his example will be followed by the Honorable Finance Minister also when he presents his budget before long, and the country will indeed be very grateful to him, as the travelling public is grateful to the Honorable Railway Minister for his budget proposals this year. Sir, I come to the question of railway finances. The Railway Minister himself has made such a nice case in regard to the raising of fares and freight rates. Therefore, it is all the more surprising that on the one hand he makes a very strong case for raising the fares and the freight rates, and on the other he has not taken this step at all.